Hello folks, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today we will talk about my favorite top cannabis stocks with great performance. So today is February 9th. The stocks in the bold are my favorites. As you can see here, GrowGeneration, Trulieve, Aphria, Village Farms, Innovative Industrial Corp, Canopy Growth, Curaleaf, NewAge, Scotts Miracle-Gro, Cronos, TLRY, HEXO, GW Pharma, Planet 13, Jazz Pharmaceuticals, Green Thumb. So with that, let's go into few of these company profiles and then dive into the numbers. So with that, GrowGeneration, it's really a pick and shovel type play with the cannabis. So they basically provide organics, lighting, hydroponics products, all these things that are required to grow cannabis. It's about $3.32 billion company and growing rapidly. Next is Trulieve. Trulieve is really $5.83 billion company and they're into medical cannabis. So, they basically sell Trulieve branded, they sell and distribute through their Trulieve branded stores and dispensaries. They are one of the first in Florida and they're expanding rapidly. Next is Aphria. Aphria is about $6.1 billion company and they're into pharmaceutical grade medical cannabis. And it's really where they can extract these cannabis and provide these products to various customers and consumers. Next is Village Farms, $1.2 billion company. And it's really, they got a bunch of other things going on, but, cannabis is one of their segment. And they basically provide, supply of cannabis products. Next is Innovative Industrial Properties or IIPR, $5.07 billion company. They're a real estate type company. They will basically they will buy the real estate from these producers and lease it back to them. So it's really a good business here, REIT type business, and a good dividend player also, and they're growing rapidly. Next is Green Thumb, GTBIF, about $7.78 billion company, and they also make various cannabis products for medical adult use. And company is growing rapidly, and 71% approved the CEO here. Next is Curaleaf. They are about $11.41 billion company, and they're into medical wellness cannabis, and the company is doing very well. Next is NewAge. This is a very small company, as you can see here, $369 million company, and they're into healthy liquid, drinks, and company is doing very well. Very small stock price also. It's a good to pick. Next is Cronos, about $4.57 billion company, and they're into cannabinoid, and they sell, various supplements derived from hemp and cosmetic products. So with that, let's dive into some of these numbers and see what makes sense. So as you can see here, in this table we got ticker, the company, the price. Price could be like 1 or 2 day old. Don't worry too much. It doesn't move too much. Market cap, 1 year performance, revenue growth, operating cash, free cash, cash itself, and debt and gross margin and profit margin. So what I look for these companies is really they should have very good performance. As you can see here, highest performance is GrowGeneration with 958% over last 1 year. And from there, it basically, in a descending order. Next is I look for revenue growth. I want the revenue growth to be, positive and, as much as possible, as high as possible. And then I look for gross margin. Gross margin also should be positive, so that way companies really making money and keeping the money that they make. So with that, my favorites are GrowGeneration, very good revenue growth and also good gross margin. And Trulieve is next, revenue growth of 92% and a gross margin of 62%. And Aphria also pretty good revenue growth and gross margin. Next, IIPR. IIPR is doing great, as you can see here, for a REIT type company, and their um, revenue growth is 197.10%, and gross margin is also good, and they also have a net profit margin too, which is good. Next, we have Canopy Growth. It's one of the bigger player here with $16.40 billion company and good performance. And they also have a lot of cash, as you can see here, $1.30 billion cash, and they're doing pretty well. Um, Next, we have Curaleaf, NewAge, Scotts Miracle-Gro. If you look at NewAge here, look at the stock price. It's 4.03, about $4 of stock, and impressive one-year performance of 109.90%. And revenue growth, right now it's a negative revenue growth, but as you can see here, they got a good gross margin, which is 60%. That's why I kind of picked this. It's a low stock price and a good gross margin. It's a good candidate to really invest and leave it for a while. Next is a huge player, Scotts Miracle-Gro. They are a big company, as you can see here, $13.34 billion company. They basically, they're into, providing all these fertilizers for marijuana. It's a, they also provide fertilizer for other vegetables and flowers and whatnot. Next is Cronos. Cronos is again a good company. Stock price is 12.82, not much. This is again, if you don't want to invest too much money, it's a low dollar stock. You could even buy some Delta 70 type call option for 1 year out, so that way you can participate in the growth. Very good performance, 86.34, and a good revenue growth and a good gross margin. Um, TLRY is again a famous one, and it's again a bigger company and a good profit, good gross margin is negative here, and revenue growth is also negative, but company has been doing very well of late. Stock price is doing very well. Next, HEXO. HEXO is also very good from a revenue growth perspective, and also gross margin is pretty healthy. GW Pharma is a bigger player, as you can see here. They're a $6.65 billion company and doing pretty well. Stock price is also 214, which is a little on the higher side. Planet 13 is a low dollar stock, 7.06, and a $1.1 billion company. And revenue growth is impressive, and they also have a good gross margin. So I would think it's a good one to hold for a long time. And Jazz Pharmaceuticals is again a pharmaceutical type company, and their market cap is a little high, 8.85, but good revenue growth as well as gross margin. Last but not least is Green Thumb. Green Thumb has got a 317.7% 1 year performance and a good revenue growth and a good profit margin. I mean gross margin. So these are the ticker symbols and names in bold are my favorites. And with that, let's go into a little bit, the performance of these stocks and see, whether they make sense from a monthly performance perspective. So with that, GrowGeneration, impressive monthly performance. As you can see here, they had 2 down months, but overall very good performance on a monthly basis. TCNNF, same story, very good performance. Consistent player. I mean, in the beginning they had a little bit hiccup, but they bounced back. And same story with other companies, as you can see here. Mostly cannabis stocks are doing very well. They had some down months, but they kind of bounced back very quickly. So with that, let's dive into two companies into a little more details and go from there. First is GrowGeneration. It's again, pick and shovel play. They provide horticulture, organics, lighting, and whatnot. And stock price is around $64.58. And from their earnings announcement, they seem to be doing very well from a revenue guidance perspective for 2020 full year. And they're also providing, or they have consecutive 11 quarter record revenue. So it's a very good sign. Same store sales is up 73% year over year, and income from store operations is really growing. And their private label is also, they're doing very well in the private label, which is a high margin business. And online sales are also increased, so they are into e-commerce and online sales. And their commercial division also generated a good revenue. So it's all good positive things in their earnings transcript. And from a growth perspective, as you can see, the market cap has consistently grown from quarter to quarter. It's a very good sign that company is grabbing the market share and growing rapidly. And revenue itself, as you can see here, they're improving the revenue year over year, 123%, 152%. It's doing very well. And also, their EPS is also in some cases it's negative, as you can see here, negative surprise. But otherwise, they're doing very well from a revenue surprise perspective. And gross margin is pretty healthy, and they also got a net margin too in the last 2 quarters. So with that, um, you know, they are basically doing very well overall. Let's look into their chart to see technically what makes sense. This is a 1 year chart of GrowGeneration. As you can see, your stock has taken off pretty much in the last 6-7 months, and it's at a all-time high at 66.19. And relative strength is really picking up. It's at the higher side of the house. If you want to buy this, I would wait a little bit for a pullback because it's already at a high point from a relative strength perspective. And implied volatility is low. If you want to buy some call option, maybe delta 70 call 3-4 months out, you could do that with the implied volatility low. And as you can see here, the blue line is above red line. That shows stock is really gaining momentum. It's not going to come down anytime soon. And on the balance, volume is going up, meaning everybody's buying this stock. And Jacqueline money flow is indicating money is still flowing into the stock, which is a good sign. So overall, I feel GrowGeneration is a good company to invest in, and stock is at a positive clip, and technical indicators say it's all clear. So with that, let's go to the next stock. Next stock is Trulieve Cannabis, TCNNF, about $49 market. I mean stock price itself, and it basically provides medical cannabis. So with that market cap perspective, it's really growing the market cap very nicely. Last couple of quarters, as you can see, it grew from 1.30 billion all the way to 5.43 billion market cap. So revenue itself is also growing pretty well, and year over year revenue growth is pretty impressive, as you can see here. They had one or two EPS miss, but revenue wise they're doing well. And they're also opening more and more stores nationwide, and they want to open total 68 stores in 2020, and I think they already hit that goal. And they also achieved EBITDA goal of 50% of revenue, expanded the footprint, and they're also going into all the adjacent areas and multiple places and getting new permits. And they're also filing uh, first to market edible cannabis in Florida, which is good sign. So overall, as you can see here, Trulieve is really going pretty well. And let's quickly look at the technical from a chart perspective. So Trulieve also same trajectory, positive trend. Last 6-7 months is doing very well. And relative strength index is showing companies really, it's overbought right now. Everybody's buying this company. You could wait for a pullback. Um, but if you look at the on the balance volume, it's saying everybody's still buying the stock. It's on a positive trend. And Chaplin money flow is also telling it's kind of flat. Money is not flowing in a rapid pace, but it's not going out also. It's a pretty good sign right now. I would probably wait a little bit for this relative strength to come below a little bit, below this line here. So then I would pick some and keep it for a long time. So with that, in a nutshell, industry is really doing well, especially with Biden administration coming in. I think people are very positive about the cannabis industry. I would buy, one of these stocks in bold and keep it for a long time and make some money in the meantime. So with that, thank you very much. Happy investing.